All eyes around the state, around the country, around the world are on the Indiana Fever. And Bria, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Caitlin Clark just did something in 41 games that took Diana Taurasi 565 games to do. Think about that. The jump she's made from her rookie year to now might be unlike anything we've ever seen in pro basketball.
There it is! A triple.
Everyone's talking about Caitlin Clark's triple-double, but there were actually 11 records broken in that game by her and the Indiana Fever. I watched every minute of their blowout win over the Chicago Sky, and what I found was incredible. Clark's triple-double was just the start of a historic night that rewrote the WNBA record books. If you're supporting Indiana, drop a "I've got the Fever" in the comments. Let's go.
Having the Fever organization be what it is today, like, it is just so fun to be a part of. There's been a lot of anticipation.
You've done a great job in training camp leading to this moment. Enjoy it. So go home and have some fun.
While everyone was focused on Caitlin Clark that night, something historic almost went unnoticed. Juana Bonner stepped onto the court just 7 points away from basketball history. After 15 years of pro basketball and thousands of points, she was about to become the third highest scorer in WNBA history. Think about that.
Bonner is the fourth all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. And in her first game with the Fever, will likely move into third all-time. She's currently just 6 points behind Tina Thompson for third on the all-time scoring charts.
With all the excitement around the Fever, you had to wonder, would anyone even notice this milestone? That was the big question as the game against Chicago started. Juana Bonner has been scoring since 2009, moving up the all-time ranks while playing for Phoenix, Connecticut, and now Indiana. And here she was, just 7 points away from passing Tina Thompson to become one of the top scorers in WNBA history.
Bonner, who knocks it away, cookies, DB, open court, right side, and she lays it in!
The moment finally came in the last quarter. Bonner went to the free throw line for 2 shots. The first one went in, tying the record as the crowd cheered. The second shot made history. She passed 7,488 career points, becoming only the third player in the WNBA's 28-year history to reach that milestone.
One more free throw for Bonner. It's in the air. That is good. Juana Bonner now third in WNBA history in scoring. 7,489 points and counting. Lord, and here's the ovation for Bonner.
What makes Bonner's achievement even more special is how she's helped change the Fever's culture. She's not just an older star chasing records, she's a 6-time All-Star and 2-time champion who knows how to win. She brings leadership to a young team that's still learning. When she talks in the locker room, players like Clark, Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hall pay attention.
You know, DB is somebody that, is a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. The strongest voice in our locker room is hers, and it's fun to have been around here now for about a month just to get to learn from her and soak it in. And I'm really happy she got to do it at the free throw line and all the fans could go crazy and cheer for her because she certainly deserved that moment, and it was really awesome to see and be a part of.
The Indiana crowd gave Bonner a standing ovation when the announcer shared her milestone. It showed that even in an age of viral highlights and rising stars, fans still respect greatness built over time. Bonner becoming the third all-time leading scorer wasn't just a personal win, it set the stage for a night full of record-breaking moments. Now, only Tina Charles stands ahead of her with 7,696 points for the second spot on the all-time list. But Bonner's big moment was just the beginning. Another Fever star was about to show why Indiana's future looks so bright. Remember when people doubted if Aliyah Boston could truly dominate? especially against fellow South Carolina alum Camila Cardoso, who's 6'7". Those doubts were erased in the most powerful way during the game against the Chicago Sky.
Well, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our defense was really good. And when we had last game, we played possession. All right, so we made things out of it. Yo, overall, just hell of an effort.
Boston came into her third season with something to prove. She wasn't just aiming to be good, she wanted to be a key piece of the team's future, a true franchise leader next to Caitlin Clark. Together, they're building something special in Indiana. The Chicago Sky came into the game confident. Angel Reese had been talking all week about how she was going to dominate Boston in the paint. She said it on Instagram, in interviews, even during warm-ups. But Boston had other plans. Her answer? A defensive clinic that stunned everyone. She blocked 5 shots, swatting them into the stands and getting the crowd on their feet. Every time Reese went up for a shot, Boston was right there. Her defense moved her up to 6th in Fever history for blocks. And those 13 rebounds? Not just solid, historic. That night, she became 8th all-time in rebounds for the Fever, and she's only in her 3rd season. Players have been rebounding for Indiana for decades, and Boston is already in the top 10. With 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks, Boston joined rare company. She became just the 2nd player in WNBA history to have 15-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus blocks in a season opener. The only other one to do it, Natasha Howard, back in 2014. That's elite company, especially for someone so early in her career. The connection between Clark and Boston was on point all night. Clark kept setting up Boston with easy shots, whether it was a high-low pass or a well-timed bounce pass. On the other end, Boston was a wall on defense, guarding the rim like it was top secret. Every time Chicago tried to drive to the basket, Boston shut them down. Angel Reese grabbed 17 rebounds, but her offense struggled. She shot just 5 for 14, having a hard time scoring over Boston's sharp, perfectly timed defense. What was supposed to be a big matchup turned into a lesson in how to play great defense.
It's a great job of those long arms of the Leah Boston here, going up multiple times and then...
But the most jaw-dropping defensive moment came when Boston and a teammate teamed up for a record that had never been done before on WNBA opening night. Their teamwork was so strong, it might make scorers across the league think twice before attacking Indiana's defense. As for Caitlin Clark, what she did against the Sky wasn't just impressive, it was historic. In 28 years of the WNBA, no one has ever done what she did in a season opener. Not Diana Taurasi, not Sue Bird, not Cheryl Swoops, no one. Clark started her 2nd season with huge expectations. After breaking 62 records in her rookie year and turning the Fever from a losing team into a playoff team, fans were excited to see what she would do next. But no one expected what she did against Chicago.
Ready for the season to tip off. It's the Fever against the Chicago Sky. We saw record crowds a season ago, and I'd say they are back and raring to go in 2025.
Early in the game, Clark was already on fire. She made a logo 3, a shot so perfect it barely touched the net. Defenders could only shake their heads. That was just the start. She played like someone who spent all off-season with one goal, to dominate on both offense and defense. Clark saw passing lanes that no one else saw and made impossible passes. She grabbed rebounds over taller players by jumping at just the right time. And most surprising of all, she blocked shots like never before.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory, and I have 3 words. Oh my God. Or now you know.
Her full blocks were a career high and the most ever by a point guard in a WNBA season opener. This surprised everyone who thought defense wasn't her strength. These blocks weren't weak, they were strong and pumped up the whole team. The best moment came when Clark and Boston together blocked 9 shots, the most by any pair in a season opener in WNBA.
Not the first one in your career, but you had 4 blocks out there. That's more than you ever had in college. Matches your WNBA career high. But felt like you were channeling the spirit of Gabby Marshall out there with the block. Is that a part of your game that you've been working on the postseason? Are we going to see more blocks out of you as your career rolls on?
Not really something you can work on. I don't know. I felt like I had active hands. I had some pokes when our post players were playing good defense, and coaching staff has just challenged me to try to be a better defender every single practice and just getting better in that area. Still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve. I don't think any of those blocks were too obvious. You look at the stat sheet and it's like, oh wow, 4, but you can get your hand on there and help your teammate out. It makes a world of a difference. So,
as the fourth quarter started, excitement grew in the arena. Clark only needed 2 assists and 1 rebound to make history. The crowd watched closely as she went after the first ever 20-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist triple-double in a season opener. Every time she passed the ball, fans held their breath. Every missed shot had them waiting to see if she'd grab the rebound. With just under 5 minutes left, Clark got her 10th assist with a perfect pass to Aaliyah Boston, who made a mid-range jumper. The crowd went wild. A few minutes later, Clark grabbed her 10th rebound, and the arena exploded with excitement. History was made. Clark's 20-10-10 game was not just her 3rd triple-double, but made her number 3 on the all-time triple-double list. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to get 3 triple-doubles, doing it in just 41 games. She also tied Alyssa Thomas for the 2nd most 20-point triple-doubles ever.
There it is! A triple.
The most amazing stat shows just how fast Clark is breaking records. She already has 9 games with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists, which is the 2nd most ever, right behind Courtney Vandersloot. What's crazy is she did this in only 41 games. Diana Taurasi also has 9 such games, but took 565 games to get there. Vandersloot needed 430 games for 10 games like this. That shows how different Clark is from everyone else in the league. What takes other players their whole careers, she's doing in just her first 41 games. She's not just breaking records, she's changing what we think is possible in pro basketball. If she keeps even part of this pace, she'll break every big WNBA record for points, assists, and triple-doubles. And that's not an exaggeration, it's just math.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Not a female superstar, she is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle.
What we saw against the Sky wasn't just a win, it might be the start of a dynasty that could lead women's basketball for the next 10 years. The Fever's 35-point win over Chicago wasn't just a regular victory. It showed what happens when special players come together at the right time. This wasn't just any blowout, it's the 2nd biggest win in Indiana Fever history. Some people might say it's just one game, but the stats say something different. Breaking 11 records in one night isn't a mistake, it's a warning to the whole league.
She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching her play.
The Clark-Boston connection is growing faster than anyone thought. Their 9 combined blocks show they're working well on defense, not just scoring. Most experts thought it would take years for them to get this good together, but they're already breaking records as a team. This team is very balanced. Clark is a sophomore star breaking records faster than anyone before. Boston, in her 3rd year, is already climbing the team's record books. Veterans like Bonner, Howard, Sydney Colson, Brianna Turner, and Sophie Cunningham bring experience and leadership. Plus, young stars like Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall are starting to hit their best years.
Well, the regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark, handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what did the kids say? Belt to ass. Oh yeah. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate, run out of the gym the Chicago Sky. 93-58.
Watching how quickly this team is coming together is really exciting. The spacing on the court is perfect, their defense moves smoothly, and the ball moves around really well. These are things that usually take young teams a long time to get right, but the Fever are doing it like pros. This isn't just about one amazing night breaking records. It's about seeing a team being built that could change the WNBA and win many championships for Indiana. It's like watching the early days of the Chicago Bulls before they won their titles. You can feel something special starting. The best part, Clark, Boston, and the whole Fever team are just getting started. The rest of the league should be worried about what's coming next. If they can break 11 records in one night, imagine what will happen when they're really at their best and playing perfectly together. This isn't just a good team having a good game. It's the start of something historic in women's basketball. The gap between the Fever and every other team is only going to grow bigger from here.
They won 93-58.
The Indiana Fever didn't just win a game, they showed their real power in women's basketball with a 35-point win over the Chicago Sky. That's the second biggest win in the team's history. When a team breaks 11 records in one night, it's not just basketball, it's history happening right in front of you. And this Fever team might only be getting started. The real question isn't if Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and the Fever will break more records this season. It's how many more records they will break before it's all over. If you're a fan of Indiana, comment "I got the Fever" below. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss anything.